Hello everybody, my name is JP Goche. I'm a Principal Application Engineer with Bentley Systems, and we're going to talk about getting the most out of your design review. This is going to be a session that will use our new iTwins technology inside of ProjectWise 365 to generate an iTwin and then be able to comment and provide issues and create markups inside of the iTwins design review viewer, and then be able to look at those issues inside of MicroStation or OpenRoads Designer applications, make some changes, and then circle back into the design review and close those issues, as well as then update the information all inside ProjectWise 365. So let's get started. Okay, today we're going to use ProjectWise 365 with Design Review. We're going to open a file and we're going to change the workflow to the next date. So I've got my ProjectWise 365 project already created here. And this is my window or my home page. As you can see, you have the inboxes and 3D design review here, and you got design task and so forth. So I've got a lot of other things here. So I can open my inbox, and if I can see, I also have an issue here that's due. Now let's go to my documents. All right, so we're going to open up our documents here, and what I've done is I've connected to a ProjectWise work area. So I've gone to my ProjectWise work area here, connection, and we're going to open up this folder. We're going to select this composite 3D model file, and I've created an iTwin already for it. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the workflow to the next state, and which is review. So when we do that, what we want to do is we want to update the iTwin 3D model. So we're going to ask it and change and do an update. So what's going to happen here is it's going to generate and create a new version on my iTwin using the update 3D design review selection here. So we've done that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to now open it up in design review in a second. So let's go back to our design review, 3D design review tab. And let's now open up our 3D design review here. Okay, as this is processing, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you a bit of a walkthrough here of this is the 3D design review. You can see we've got our model tree here. We've got all of our reference files here. We've got our composite. We've got our gantry locations, our guardrail, and inside here we've got our other reference files and other model data. We can go and search for things like terrain. If I click on the terrain here model, it turns it on and off. And I can also come in and do turn it back on again. Now, what I can do here is I can also use save searches. So I can come in and actually click on the search bar again and open up my little gear tab and select a save search that someone's already created for me for a bridge deck. And as you can see, it's using some of the bridge deck categories and classes. Once it's done that, I can click on that bridge deck and I can look at the properties of that bridge deck here. So I've got some of the civil properties, some volumes, some surface areas. I can look at the category types and other information. So let's go back to that search. And if I click on it, then I can now zoom directly to the area. So it makes it really easy for people to go and find information inside of our civil project here. So what we want to do now is I want to create a more of a view for this, so it makes it much easier to go back to it. But as you can see, I'm selecting on various elements in the model, and I'm getting all the civil information, some of the file naming information here as well. So let me just kind of zoom in. Or now we've got our zoom tools here at the top, our fit, our pan, and our orbit rotate view. So let's go in orbit and rotate around here and get positioned. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to maybe turn off some information here. So we may want to turn off maybe the some gantry locations. Let's go look for some other model information here. So let's turn off the civil. The geotechnical information. So we've got our terrain modeled here and no geotechnical. And what I can do now is I can sort of select our terrain model, and if I want to, I can just turn it off by its category. So here I turn it off. So I have the ability to turn that off and clean up my view and get it prepared if I want to. Now I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit here. And so then the next thing I want to do maybe is go back in. If I need to turn that back on again, I can clear it, my categories, and I can turn back on the terrain model. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create what we call a save view to help people in my project to go back and find it. So we're going to create a save view called bridge. Just type that in. Once we do, we type it in, we click on it, and it saves it as a save view. Now what we can do is we can share that with the other members of our project, as well as I can apply a tag to it as well. And all this does, it makes it really simple for other people to see and review what I'm looking at. I may have other problems that may come up. I may have some issues or some concerns that I want people to look at and address. So save views is a great way of doing this. And by the way, we do below you'll see desktop save views. There are some of the save views that are brought in from Open Roads or design applications. So what I want to do next here is we're going back into our model and just going to locate ourselves again, sort of around that ramp. But what I'll show you is, again, I can look at some of the civil features of this terrain model. And one of the great things is I can actually go in and find where that file was stored. And if I click on that link, it'll take me and open up ProjectWise, and I can open that file up to view it if I need to. The other thing is, again, we can go look at this mesh surface area, and once we click on it, we can get all the data for it. So if we wanted to get some quantities on here, we can find the quantities and the information here that relate to this mesh, just in case we're looking at maybe some fill or some cut fill parameters we need to. So we'll turn that off. And let's come in here and zoom a little tighter in and have a closer look at this ramp here that's here. So what we're going to do is we may want to cut a cross section. So we select our perpendicular cross section tool, and it displays all the alignments inside this file that we created in Open Roads. So now what we can do is we can move and drag along that ramp alignment to the end, and kind of scroll around. Now what I can do here is I can select on that stationing, and I can type in my own stationing here. And once I do that, hit enter, it's going to take me and create a cross section at that station. So if I kind of wait for a second and zoom in, now you can see the cross section of the both ramps. If I move my window up above here, I can now dynamically stretch that cross section out as well. I can dynamically move that along the alignment if I want to. So let's kind of zoom in, get a little closer look here at at one part of the ramp. I can see I've got my guardrails here, I've got my slopes, and I've got my sub base information here. If I select on that, I can obviously get some civil information from it. I can also select on the information as well here. Now, what I want to do is I'm really interested in measuring the slope and the distance of the lane of the ramp here. So I can come into my measure tool and dimension that, and what it does is going to give me a 1.3% slope in the measurement information. Now, what I want to do here is I'm going to create an issue to make sure people know that we don't want to go past a 2% slope in this project. So what we're going to do is hit the Issues tab here, and we're going to create an Issues. Now what this does is it brings up a form-based issue tool that you can configure and customize. You can add different fields and you can do things here, but we're going to type in a subject here called roadway slope. Okay. And we're going to give it a due date. Let's try, put it at the, close to the end of the month, right, on June 30th. And the status is we're going to assign this, okay? And we're going to assign it to myself, John Paul Gauthier, and we're going to come down and give a little bit of a description. Again, all these fields and this form that we see, you can configure and customize with different information as well. So here we're going to say check roadway slope to ensure it does not exceed 2%. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to save that. And what's going to happen here, it's going to save that as an issue. And it's going to add that as an issue on in our side of our ProjectWise 365 project, right? So not only is it inside the design review and other people inside our design review can see it, but we also can view it inside our ProjectWise 365 project as well. So we don't necessarily have to open the design review application. We can respond to it inside of ProjectWise 365 Issues tab. So let's go back here and we're going to create a markup. So I'll add a markup to our issue. Pretty simple. Go on our notes tab and do that. We can place some text in here. So again, just want to remind ourselves, change the spelling, back to check the slope again in this location. Okay, so attach that. And we can now attach that markup to our issue, right? And again, do that. We can also add links. We can add attach a file. In this case, we're going to attach maybe a drawing here, a standard drawing. So let's click on one of our 2D sheet files here. So if we just click on that 2D sheet, that defines maybe what the slope area is or the area we're looking at. We can click on that and add that to our issue, and we can say just plan and profile view of that ramp area. Okay. So yeah, so it's added that PDF sheet. It's added those markups to it. It also has the measurements in there that we've had from our cross section here. So let's kind of minimize that. We also gone in and we've ran a clash job on this project as well. So we've got a clash issue. So if we select on the clash issue and say go to the save view, it's going to open it up and display the clash that happened here. So we're looking at a pole base clash. So we can look at the summary. We can see, okay, if you want to come in and look at the form, we can see that the form was filled in, and it was assigned to myself. You can see some of the notes here that was attached. If we want to, we can come in and go in and attach, again, a markup or save view or file. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to attach a file here, and I happen to have a file that describes a pole base here. So I want to again add this file. I can put some notes in here saying it's a pole base specification, just so make people aware of that. So they're going to add that pole base specification drawing. As you see, it comes in. I can also add a link, so I can go out and add a hyperlink to so say if I have a standard here. So let's go open up a browser and do a search for highway pole base. Spell it right here, pole base specification. And our website comes up here with just an arbitrary website, and we can kind of maybe just navigate through maybe the spec document here from this road authority. When we look at pole base or installation or whatever. Anyways, we can select one of these these areas, and if we want to, we can go into that website, click on the hyperlink of this spec here, and copy it. And then I can go back to my 3D designer view and enter that link. So I'll call this a pole base or pole standard. And then I can add a link to that site. So what it's going to do is now if I want to, inside my my issue here, now I've added some more information. I've included a link, so so when people are looking at this, they can check it against various different things. So there's a class job I did. We've added some information to that, and now let's go back to our section view, right? And we can come back and look at that section view again. And as we know, as soon as we open it, it brings back the measurement and the slope. So again, zooms us right back to there. So let's close that section view off and zoom out. And what we're going to do is maybe we'll turn off our map layers. So what I want to do is I want to show you the ability we also have on adding in our reality mesh data. So for those of you that have like a near map subscription, or you want to bring in some reality data, we also support being able to use and import reality data, LiDAR data, other information. So here I am turning off our train model. As you can see here, the reality data has come in. Got some of our GINT or Geotech data as well in there, so I can kind of zoom around in here, and you can see and visualize and look at the reality model data. All right. So again, all this is supported. I've also got some, like I said, some geotech data in here, and if I want to come in, and I can possibly create a save view called Geotech. And I'm showing here some of the various subsurface stratas that's in our area. So we've got some sand and some silt here. So if I want to do like a quick measurement here, or want to look at this strata, I can see that it's the shale strata. I can look at this is more of a clay mesh and so forth. So it gives me, my layers here. So if I was interested, I could come in and maybe look at a measurement and just kind of measure this distance of from, say, our shale strata up to up to the top of this beam or pole or foundation here, after the bridge. The other thing, if I wanted to look at the information about each strata, obviously we're bringing that in from our GINT information here, from our borehole logs. So obviously just simply select on it, and all that civil data is brought to you inside of using Design Review. So this is all part of that iTwin. When we generate the iTwin, just inside of ProjectWise 365, whatever reference files that we have attached to it, whether we have our civil data, or we have our GIT data, we have our geotech data, all this rich information is available to you in through a web browser using with inside of ProjectWise 365. So here we are. We can even look in some of our borehole locations, and we can get some borehole data as well if we're interested in that. We can search and find these things as well. So, and again, all this information is accessible to you. Just simply using a browser. There's no installation of products or applications to install, and you get access to multiple different data schemas here. Okay, so what we're going to do next is, again, go back to our save view and kind of zoom out a little bit. And what we want to do is we want to create another issue here on this bridge pier. So we've noticed that there's been two piers here, and so we want to create an issue called duplicate pier, and we want to correct this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an issue with our issues tab. Again, fill out this form, okay, and assign it to myself. and put in information here and say check design file. So we actually will need to go in and check the design file. We've noticed a problem that there are some duplicate data. So you may come across some duplicate data or something strange here, and you want to now actually have the designer go in and check that. So we're going to create an issue for that. Now, what we're going to do next is we can also show some of the all the issues here. One of the good things with issues is that we can filter them by ID, assigned to, who created them. So, all these kind of features here, being able to look at the status, whether it's closed or not closed, or it's unassigned to somebody. We can also filter by subject if we want to here. So, it's interesting that if we want to click on a search and we're looking for, let's say we have all kinds of issues here and we want to look for all the roadway search ones, we could type in the roadway and spell it correctly here and get back to our roadway issue, what I can open up as well. So, very powerful tool using the issues inside of Design Review, inside of ProjectWise 365. So, what we want to do next is we want to go out now and out of our Design Review, and remember we've added those issues for our designers to look at. So we're going to go back to our container file here, and we're going to change our workflow to previous to go back to design. So change our workflow back inside of ProjectWise 365, and now what we're going to do is we're going to select the file, and we're going to say open, and we're going to open it in the desktop application. So the .dgn file on my computer is linked to MicroStation. If it was linked to OpenRoads or something else, other application, that's what it would use. So it's going to open up in MicroStation here, and so it's going to start opening up the file. It's downloading all the reference files here. All right, and in a second here we're going to see it. So yeah, there's my roadway with my bridge and all my information inside of MicroStation with all my reference files. So what I want to do now is I'm going to be able to actually look at and see the issues that are in my ProjectWise 365 project. So I can click on the Collaborate tab, and if I click on Manage Issues, what happens here, it's going to bring up a toolbar, and I can select issues here, and lo and behold, there's all my issues that I had. So I've got my roadway issues, my pole-based clearance issues, that clash one that I have here, and it's assigned so I can open, say, my roadway one. I can look at those attachments, and as you can see, there's a PDF there as well. I can click on that PDF and open that PDF, and I can sort of look at all the comments and information here to help me solve that roadway issue, right? So what I want to do now, though, is I want to look at this duplicate peers one, so I can open that up. And again, I looked at the slope issue here again, so let's we can actually go in and take a screen capture inside of MicroStation and do some markups here as well. So we'll save that out. So close that again. Yeah, say OK. And let's go up and around, and let's go check out. Again, we can now create an issue. So while we're in MicroStation, we have the ability to create an issue as well. So let's say if we have an issue here that we want to add and have our ProjectWise 365 team look at, we can use the same forms that we using in Design Review. So we can assign it to myself. We could fill something in here saying we got an issue with some Geotech data that we want to look at in this case. So right inside of MicroStation, you've got this sort of round trip ability to not only look at issues from Design Review that were created using Design Review, but we can also create them inside of MicroStation and have them displayed in ProjectWise 365 for our participants to collaborate, to look at, and to resolve, and to manage and maintain. So now that we've got that done, we're going to check in the master file here again. So I'll let that check in. Once that's finished checking in, what we want to do, we've made a modification to it. We made some design changes to that file. So again, what we could do is we could go back into the workflow, change that workflow to the next workflow. So we say we want to create another review, and we can start the process again by going in and updating the 3D design review. So if we want to click on update, we could actually update, and we would have another version with another change that just happened if we maybe moved something or updated some stuff here. So here are those issues in my ProjectWise 365. There's the one from the roadway slope issue, the duplicate design issue, as you can see there. And again, we can open that up and look at some of the comments here. Look at the audit trail, see who's been worked on it. All this information is available to you, and as well as we could come in here and add a comment, right? So let's say if we wanted to come in here, we were just maybe one of our project participants, and we wanted to maybe see add a comment says we need to check in the 3D design review here. So we want to make sure that people are checking the 3D design review for maybe this slope issue, and make sure that these issues are closed. So we've done that, and we can now save that off, right? And close that off, and it's been updated. So cancel that. So if we want to come in here, look at this either Geotech Data information, we can also go back and look at our probe bases, and all these issues can be exported out as an XLS or an Excel file or a PDF, right? We can actually save these as a PDF report. So let's go back into our design review area one more time. And while that's opening up, just want to make sure we make note of what we're doing. So we're going back into our model. We've got our issues here again. So again, we can go simply select on that any one of these, and it'll take us to that save view automatically, and we can look at see any kind of design changes. In this case, we may look at that we may have moved or removed that duplicate pier, so we can come in and now edit that issue. And we've checked to make sure that the duplicates have been removed, so we've actually gone through and done that in our design file. So now what we can do is we can come in and add a comment and said we've checked the design file, and the design file appears to be fixed here, right? So the next thing we can do is add this comment in, and it says we've removed our duplicate, and we validated here in our design review tool. And so now we can actually go in and click on the summary. We go back into our form, and we can now close this issue. So we'll say close. So what we've done is we've utilized ProjectWise 365 to not only go into a design integration work area, open up a file inside that, create a 3D design review. With that, go into the 3D design review viewer, look at issues and create some comments and create some save views here. And we've done all of that inside of this ProjectWise 365 web tool. So now that we've closed that issue, we can go back and we can maybe move the design file up to the next workflow, which is approved. Again, these workflow states come right from within design integration, so that we're connecting right to that design work area. All doing that inside of ProjectWise 365. So when we're done that, obviously, we've got the ability to make some changes here. But I wanted to make sure everybody understands that I'm doing this in a web browser. I am, I can be doing this at my house. I could be doing this in a hotel room. I could be doing this anywhere using, if I need to, I could be using a tablet. So we just basically went through a full closed loop process here, where we again we went in and looked at we connected to a work area, opened up a design file here. And again, if I go back to my workbook now, or inbox, I can see all those issues, and I can see the due dates and information here, and I can output this to a PDF report if I want to. Just having to have this flexibility, being able to work in this world is great. Again, we can open up files, create a 3D design review, go into the design review tool, make issues, create issues, and respond to issues, and have full collaboration.